Okay, so live group coaching with me. My name is Marilyn Devonish, the NeuroSuccess coach, rapid transformation specialist, and futurist. Live online group coaching for less than the price of a fancy cup of coffee. So it comes in about $11.70 per month at the moment, or £8.88 for those of you in the UK. If you're booking early enough, and that price will be grandfathered in for you as long as you want to be a part of it and show up. So let me just dive straight in and give you a little bit of a flavor of what we're doing. So we've had some kind of back and forth toing and froing. At the moment, I'm calling it the Abundance Academy. So Limitless Abundance Academy. It is coming soon. So if you're watching this in real time, one of the first things you can do is go to my main website after you finish watching this video, and I've told you all about what's coming. But go to my main website, transformationstm.com. That's www.transcef for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark. So when you land on the transformation site, you'll see a red What's New button. If you click that, a panel will slide out. Right at the top at the moment is a link through to the Abundance Academy. So let me just give you a little bit of a flavor of what we're going to be doing with regards to this. The idea is that we are working around the wheel of life. So we're talking about abundance in all areas. That could be your health, your mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, your emotional development, spiritual development, personal development, work and career, money, finances, you name it, we want it all in there. And that's why we're doing it over a period of time as opposed to just a one-off event. Now, we did do a one-off event last weekend. It was a mammoth, it was 2 workshops. I just ran them on the same day. So it turned out to be 11 hours for me. We started at midday UK time. We finished at 11 p.m. And I had several of the same people come to both workshops. I'll show you some of their feedback. And this Abundance Academy is based on that, because everyone was saying, oh my God, there are people saying, I would love to do this every week. I was like, that might be a little bit much. But then, okay, every month at least. And then I started thinking about that. And the idea was born for, why don't we do that? So we can put more time into these things and really build momentum, put some strategies in place, do the idea generation, the brainstorming, etc. So we're going around the wonderful wheel of life, as you might call it. So I've got a few of these up here on my screen. So this is feedback from someone who came to both of those events. They said it's been an amazing day, could not have spent it better. Every single moment is an opportunity to learn, grow, and share, and most of all, bask in this magical Devonish energy. So that was they did both the Align, Reset, and Manifest workshop and the Abundance SOS workshop. What else have we got here? Actually, let me show you this one, just in terms of those of you who are just kind of coming into this. So at the moment, there are several options. I'm going to show you the tiers as well, and I'm going to explain why there are so many, because there are 6 different tiers, but I'll break them down. I'll give you an overview. But particularly if you want to maybe dip your toe in the water and go, oh, is this for me? Then the £8.88, or let's say it's just under $12 for those of you in the United States, because this is a global program. You can join us from anywhere in the world. And if you can't make it live, there will be replay recordings. There's also the option to submit what you want to work on anonymously if you choose, to make sure that what you're doing, focusing on, etc., is always included in those works in the online monthly sessions or group coaching sessions. So it's live. They will be delivered live. So I'm just speaking to those who have already booked, checking which day of the week can they do, what time zone are they in, and what times would suit. We're narrowing in. There are 2 days of the week that pretty much everybody has said so far. So those are looking like the favorites. So if you want to be in with choosing the day of the week and the time zone that would suit you, just make sure you get yourself booked in. And the direct link you can go to, if you're not going to my main website, particularly if you're watching this after the fact, because that What's New will change and it will scroll. Coming along the bottom of the URL, the ticker tape at the bottom, is www.bit.ly/limitless-abundance-academy. So that's where you're going to find the information that you are looking for. And really, I don't drink tea and I don't drink regular tea and coffee anymore. I gave it up about 30 or so years ago, probably longer than that now. But I do like a cup of herbal tea. I make it at home myself. But for those of you who go out to your Starbucks and your Costas and wherever else you go, which is lovely, just foregoing one fancy cup of coffee can get you into this particular group and environment. So I was saying today, rather than having your investment just go straight through you or throwing it down the sink or peeing it out, then why not just take one of those cups of coffee or whatever your tip or beverage is and put it into personal development, which is building you from the inside out. And that is something that can continue to grow, gain momentum exponentially for years and decades to come. At this point, I'm 25 years into my personal development journey now. Best investments I ever made. So kind of you can think about it in those terms as well. Right, so let me just show you a little bit more of what we have going on here. Let's advance this along. What's this one? Just see some flowers. Oh yes, so this was I had a feedback form. So this was a feedback form from someone who attended. So I had, name of the event, the Abundance Club. How would you rate the workshop? And would you rate it to a colleague? So they said it was 10 out of 10 for them. How would you rate the overall event? Outstanding. What did you enjoy most about the online event? To actually sit down for a moment and concentrate on one subject. And that's one of the things I really want to do. Let's see something through to fruition this year. If there's been something you've been thinking about doing, meaning to do, it's on your to-do list and maybe has been year in, year out, and it's cycling around and rotating, or you've got a new idea and something new that you want to focus on, then bring that to the group and let's put the idea, the energy, the momentum around it. So someone, for example, who was there at the weekend is working on, they've got the product already, they work with big corporates at the moment, and what they want to do now is work with smaller businesses, maybe even entrepreneurs. So they were looking for feedback on the idea, the concept, asking questions about, well, what do you think in terms of pricing? Is this something you would go for, etc.? So it's a sounding board as well. They also, I said, is there anything you would disliked about the event? They didn't see the updates because one of them was very short notice. So they said they didn't see the update. So it was very impromptu for them. So it'll be nice to kind of see that in advance. Part of that is the algorithm. So if you see this video, please feel free to at least click the like button. I would love for you to share it. You can make a comment because all of those things bump it up the algorithms, and it means that people see it before we launch and before it's over. So they just saw it in the nick of time and like booked a couple of hours before we started. So how helpful was the information? Extremely helpful. And then, how did you find the duration? About right. And again, they were there for the 11 hours. So that was that one. Let's show you another one while we're here. Hold on a minute. Let me just jump around. It doesn't advance the same as it used to. So it's been, because I used to be able to just scroll through the pictures, made it far more seamless. What we got here, so yeah, this is, it's outstanding, 10 out of 10. It's outstanding in terms of how they would rate the particular event. Actually, let's pull up a few of these. So that was that one, and that was that one. What else have we got? Saw that one. Anything else? I've just created little snippets of feedback from some of the things that people said. So someone said it's been amazing to be here. Someone else says this has been amazing. Grateful that I got to join. Someone else says thank you very much, Marilyn. So it was a really, really fantastic day. It all online, because I know sometimes people go, well, can you really get that much from an online event? And what about the energy? What about the dynamics? Look, I've been running online events, doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy, online workshops since 2005. So 15 years before the pandemic pivot and everyone was remote working. I actually have also been a specialist remote working implementation consultant since 2003, going into organizations to write, design, and implement remote working policy and strategy. So I know how to design my online event. So people, seriously, can you imagine being on an online event for 11 straight hours? We went from midday to 5:30 p.m. We had a break from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then from 6:30 p.m. till 11 p.m., people were still buzzing and this was the feedback. So it's not your traditional, you know, drag yourself through, nodding dog, trying to keep yourself awake. These things are dynamic, they work, and we work. So that's really kind of what we're going for with regards to this. Right, so let's hide all of those again. Right, I'm going to show you, just before we go, let me show you, I sound like Michael Jackson. Let me show you the way to go. Right, okay, so the one I'm looking for, let's do a little bit of a screw. Oh man, come on. Right, so what we got, sorry about the clicking noise. Oh yeah, right, so gonna do that one. Yeah, so, oh, actually, yeah, let me show you this one first. This will make a bit more sense. And let's put me in the corner. Right, nobody puts baby in the corner. But anyway, so this is a summary of what we're going to be doing. So this live monthly webinar. There will be a replay recording, of course, if you can't make it live. Different modality each webinar. So, for example, when we ran the Align, Reset and Manifest workshop, we had the past life regression, access consciousness, the HUNA energy clearing, future life progression, FLP, and the goal and intention settings. That was one of the workshops that we did. We did it all in one day, and those workshops are available if you want to kind of, you know, purchase them and take yourself through them. So this time around, what we're going to do is we're going to have one modality, and then in the other one we had things like opening the OTH, opening the heart. We had a Ho'oponopono process for cutting the old links and ties and cords and connections, for example. So lots of different things. So depending on what we're working on and which aspect we're focusing on that month, will then determine the modality that we use. And we also use timeline therapy, for example, for putting those goals and intentions into the future. Hypnotherapy, we did some guided processes. So there was a lot that we did in that one day. So we're going to choose a modality that's right for what we're doing. Now, sometimes that's going to be sort of decided in advance. And I say sort of because this isn't my group. I'm not going, right, we're doing this, right, we're doing that. It's also determined by what do you bring to the table? What's going to be right for the group that particular month? So let's just say we were working on relationships one month, and that was out of the part of the wheel of life that we were on. It doesn't mean to say you couldn't come with something else. It just means there's going to be a segment to help you with that particular aspect as well. So different modality each month. Ongoing accountability, that's one of the biggest things. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. It happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I looked at my calendar, my schedule. I was like, oh, I've got such a, I was like, oh my God, I said I'll do this. So just before it, I'm like, you know, like Keystone Cops, you know, you see that meme on social media where the cat is like typing. That was me. Although I'm not a cat. And so I did that. It's like, phew, got it done. And then I'm laughing to myself because I know that often happens with my coaching clients, particularly executive coaching clients, really busy. They got lots on. They're looking at us going to go, oh my God, I've got a session with Marilyn. Let me check my notes. I said last time I was going to do this. So people slide into the session. They go, oh, I've just finished or I've just completed. Some of them will fess up and I will smile and say, the fact of the matter is, I don't actually mind when you did it, as long as there's not a deadline involved and they're late, you know, with whatever the commitment was they made. But I was like, I don't mind when you did it. The fact of the matter is, it's done. And I've had people do, somebody on the, even on the Saturday, by the time we spoke again on the Thursday, so just 4 days later, they made a phone call that they've been putting off for a long time, which is one that lifts a burden off of their shoulders. It was done. So it's that whole thing. If you know you're coming, even if you're not coming monthly, I've got a little, you know, what I'd like you to do is if you've committed to do something, I would like you to report back, even if you can't make it live. So I can say, yeah, had feedback from XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3, or one of the participants if you're doing it anonymously. But yeah, so accountability is a really big part of it because that moves the needle in terms of external motivation and internal inspiration. We've got the group coaching as well. So bring whatever is up for you at that month to the table. And while I'm on the subject of the how you participate, there is anonymity. Oh, that's a bit of a mouthful. There's a way to take part anonymously. built into the system. The system that I use, I set it up so that you can choose the name that you log in with. So you might log in, of course, you'll log in with your first name, last name, email, so that you get the registration to the webinar and the access codes and etc. But once you actually log into the webinar on the day, you can log in anonymously. You can call yourself Fifi Trixabel, and I actually won't know who that is. And then there's another layer on terms of that. Even if you come in with your full name, there's a live chat, which is open, everyone can see that, and then there's a private Q&A, so that comes just to me. So if you've logged in with a nickname, when you use a private Q&A, I'm still just going to see your nickname, so I won't actually know who is asking me the question, because sometimes if people are working on things that are personal to them, sensitive, they don't actually want to say what they're working on. And of course, if something's in the private Q&A, I don't say so and so said. I would just kind of summarize it, or I'll just answer the question, because I have the facility just to actually type an answer back to you as well. So we've got that sort of built in also for those who are a little bit sensitive about, because I want people to get the most of it. So if there's something on your mind, better out than in, and I want to make it as easy as possible for people to do that. Because one of the reasons why people might be thinking, why would you want to do that? Look, if you're very senior in your field, it can be challenging to actually say, I'm struggling with this. I need help with this. This isn't working. So that's one of the reasons I put it in. And also just for the pure, you don't necessarily want everyone to know what's going on with you. So let's make it easy for people. So you've got the idea brainstorming as well. So if there's maybe something you're working on, you want that to tap into what I call that collective consciousness. That's those streams of ideas where several heads are better than one. You might say, hey, I'm thinking of this, I'm looking at that, or has anyone ever done XYZ ABC 1 2 3 before? You get some feedback on that also. And the whole thing about the collaboration, the group support, there are going to be some mini training segments. Let's just say, for example, people are asking questions on a particular topic, and I go, actually, I think that could be useful for everyone, or everyone is sort of asking the same thing. Then I'll put a mini training segment together. Also, some bonus guest speakers. So a few people I had in mind straight out the gate. One of them was the wonderful Gina Batt, who is a clairvoyant, and many of you know her from my MBS, Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshops. Have done some webinars with her as well. She's amazing. And I remember the first time I brought her to one of my live events, I hired a cinema in London called the One Aldrich, very swanky hotel. It's gorgeous. And they've got a private cinema downstairs. So I hired the cinema to show the movie The Secret. Now, you can't just rush off and show a commercial movie. I wrote to them, I got a license to do that. And I said, Gina, given the subject matter, could you come along and maybe do some little mini readings for people? She's like, okay. So she comes to London, and there were two women who were not, they didn't know each other, but they're like, oh, I'm not sure about this. So I said, just go and have a chat. You know, she's amazing. So one of them goes out first. She comes back into the room crying, but not in a bad way, just tears of joy. She's like, oh my God, Marilyn, that was so amazing. The other woman went out and just walked in. She looked a bit zombified, like, I was like, you all right? She's like, that was amazing. So Gina's amazing. So I've said, could she perhaps come? Because one of her specialities is doing a tune-in for the people who are there, and then doing a reading. And she is fantastic. So I spoke to her at the weekend. She said yes. So day before, actually, yesterday, I think it was. It's only Monday today, isn't it? If you're watching real time. So I spoke to her yesterday. She said yes, love to do it. That's amazing. There's also Kate, who does the entity and attachment clearings and the stuff with the hexes, curses, narcissists, psychic hooks, and all of that cool stuff. And actually, she sent me a message saying, I saw your Saturday workshop. I saw it too late. I would have loved to have joined you. And I said, Kate, I was actually thinking of inviting you. She said, oh, I would have loved to have popped in. So Kate is also going to do a session for us, and maybe do a couple of entity scans, because what she does again is amazing. And I did a 90-minute webinar with her. So it was for people on my e-newsletter list back in January, and then it would be 2 weeks ago now, I did a premiere of it on YouTube. So you can still at the moment catch it on YouTube, and we did it live. So Kate's in the United States, so she was in America, and I'm here in the UK, and we're answering people's questions in the chat. But watch that on YouTube. What I'll do is I'll put the link somewhere around this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, for example, I'll put it into the comments, and I'll put it in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So Kate has said she would absolutely love to come along and do something for the group. Woohoo. Also, if you're watching this in real time, save the date, 26th of April. Kate and I running a workshop together about reclaiming your home, because she said there can be attachments and grudges placed onto homes, onto properties, or onto the families that reside there. She's got some incredible case studies. So we're going to run a half-day workshop on the 26th of next month. So save the date for that. Kathy Hector, she was on the call for the Abundance SOS on Saturday. And I said, actually, Kath, because there's something Kathy and I joined Kathy's team. And I said, would you mind saying a few words? So she did an impromptu session. Amazing. So that's already in the Saturday workshop. And on top of all of that, there's going to be a possible Facebook group or maybe my Wilo community. I haven't decided which to use yet. And the reason I'm putting up another option is that I've had people say, I'd love to be part of it. I'm not actually on Facebook. So it might be that we use a community in a different place, in a different space. And of course, it means if I do go live, the videos won't be immediately, well, deleted in 30 days. I think we've got until the 30th of June, if you're watching this in real time, to save your videos. But yeah, so I'm looking at a couple of platforms. And that's an overview of what we're planning to do with regards to this. Now, let me show you. Yeah, I guess let's answer that one. So why would you join us? Why indeed? A couple of things in summary. So there's group and individual coaching, as I said, for less than the price of a fancy cup of coffee, which I think is a brilliant investment. And whatever price you join at, and I'll show you the tiers in a few moments, that will remain at that price. Even when the price changes and increases, you'll be grandfathered in at whichever price you've come in at, as long as you remain a member. So there's group and individual coaching. There's the idea generation, where I want to get you moving. Let's bring your ideas to life. Anytime, any place, anywhere, because it's online. You can join from anywhere in the world, because the live sessions are recorded, and of course the community is dynamic. You can access this whenever you choose. Refreshing all areas. As I said, we're looking at the wheel of life. We're not just doing a static thing. And so the idea for this is abundance in all areas, because I know that word conjures up money and finance. I want it to go beyond that, because let's say your health is your wealth. There's that saying there. Trust me when I tell you, I know that. I learned it the hard way. When you haven't got your health, many other things that seem to be important, they almost don't matter, because you, quite frankly, depending on how unwell you are, you could sometimes barely be getting out of bed and moving. So we're going to go through around that wheel of life, see what we can do to improve the balance. I've said going pear-shaped with this one. You could be watching this going, yeah, everything's cool. Now, oftentimes, majority of people I've met, let's just say there were 8 spokes in that wheel of life, just for argument's sake. Oftentimes, 5 or 6 of them are going really well, brilliantly. There's one where you're like, oh, could improve. And then there's one that's like, oh my God, this spoke is just broken. And so, and then there'll be times where everything's motoring along, and then you hit a puncture point and all the rest of it. So this is also, as we're going through the year, that things could be fine in the January, and then something happens 3 or 4 months later, and you're like, whoa, and you've got the group support there to work on that. And then it's an unfolding. It's not static, it's dynamic. It's also driven from you. Yes, they're going to have some things that I'll do, some exercises. I've been thinking about the opening exercises today. I've got one I think is going to blow your mind in a good way. So I'm going to be, of course, doing that, but there's fluidity and space in it, because we don't know what's going to be coming up, because it is yet to unfold. And that's the way I kind of want to keep it, really. And then let me show you the tiers. Let me bring those up. Saw them there, and that's the one I'm looking for. Actually, that's a little bit small. You'd be looking right up my nose and be like, let me pull it up on my own page, and then I can just properly read it to you. Oh, I just got a flash of myself there. Gosh, I've posted a lot today. Well, this weekend. Right, any minute now. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, Pippa, can't wait. I can't wait to have you join us also. I'll post the link in there in a moment. Right, here we go. 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 I wonder how England are doing. They're playing today. All right, so I'm on the page. So what I've done, one of the first things you're going to hit is it says, let me explain the tiers to you. And I've explained all of the tiers. But in a nutshell, you've got tier 1, which is monthly recurring. Tier 2, which is monthly recurring plus the VIP coaching. So that means you also get a 1-hour coaching session every month with me online. Tier 3 is where the £8.88 or the $11.47, whatever it was, depending on the exchange rate and who you're asking, is the pay your own price. So think of it like an auction. There's a reserve price. So you can pay £8.88 or anything above that price. Now, if you look at this and go, Marilyn, this is completely underpriced. You want to pay £100, go for it. But you can come in as little as £8.88. So that's tier 3, pay your own price. Tier 4 is annual recurring. So you might go, look, I don't want to fiddle about with monthly. Let me just do that in one go, and then you're all set for the year. We've got the tier 5 annual recurring with the VIP coaching. So you get 12 1-hour coaching sessions for the next 12 months. And then we've got tier 6, which is the founder membership. And that's the one and done. So that's one price. You get 2 years worth of coaching with that. So a coaching session every month for 2 years. And then you're a member. That's it. You don't have anything else to pay at all. You're covered. There will be some other things that are coming for that. Also, depending on your booking, there's access to the Ultimate You. That's this. Oh, actually, should I say 61? I've just noticed a little typo on my page. So it's a 61 set paraliminal library. You get 12 months access to that as well. It is amazing. I first started using paraliminals in 1998. I love them. I used to call them change the lazy way. I now say the easy way, where you just put your headphones in, press play, boom, you're off. And again, a bit like this program, the reason why I've chosen this as a bonus, they basically go through all areas of life as well. It is very cool. Right, so you get 12 months access to that, and you also get 12 months access to my all access pass for a year as well. And if you want to purchase that separately, that's $7,421. There's over 60 workshops in there, again, across a range of subjects. You get 12 months unlimited access to that as well for the one and done price. So that's all on the website, the bit.ly limitless-abundance-academy. I've added some of the feedback on there, and I've also put together a Q&A. So when you land on the page, and the reason I had so many tiers is I want it to be accessible and affordable for people. Don't want to leave anyone out, hence the pay your own price. But those prices, of course, will have to change at some point. But I just launched a couple of days ago. Well, it was meant to be on Saturday, but had a little bit of a shenanigans with MailChimp. So that launched on Sunday evening. And today's Monday, so less than 24 hours ago. So these are the founder prices, and whatever price you come in at, that's the price you'll pay. Oh yes, one other thing I should tell you, actually. If you're in any of these categories, there's up to 50% off. Ooh, did I put these on the page? I hope I did. Yeah, I need to add that. So off the top of my head, here we go. So if you are in my Facebook membership group, it's 25% off. If you're in my Facebook membership group and you have the all access pass and you purchased it when I did a lifetime deal, so you pay once, you have access to it forever, it's 50% off if you meet both of those criteria. If you are on my e-newsletter list, it's 10% off. So that's in the email that I sent yesterday. And if you came to the webinar, the beta test webinar on Thursday, it's 15% off as a thank you for listening to my random musings and taking the time and trouble to give me the feedback. So 25% off if you're in my Facebook membership group, you're a lifetime member. 50% off if you're in the Facebook group as a lifetime member and you have the all access pass lifetime deal. That's 50. So whatever the price is, it's 50% off. So one of the tiers, it starts at it's £17. You know, if you want to go for the monthly recurring, so it's going to be half price of that. Let's see with the coaching one. Let's see at the moment, because these prices will change. So if you're watching this after the launch and you're like, well, I just went to the page, it wasn't that price. It's because these are the grandfathered in launch prices. So £17 a month if you want to do the monthly recurring. £114 a month if you want to do tier 2, and that includes your coaching session. You can book the coaching session separately. It's just that they're £150 each. Tier 3, as I said, pay your own price. It starts at £8.88. The annual subscription is £187 for the year, so you effectively get a free month. The VIP annual with the coaching, so you get 12 coaching sessions with that as well. It's 1,254 per year. So yes, and that's why I wanted to offer some flexibility. I know sometimes people just want to get things sorted, don't have to think about it again. And I'm fully aware with the pay your own price, there are people who financially this isn't a brilliant time for them, and I still wanted to make sure that I keep it accessible and give everyone the opportunity to come in, still learn, build, grow, and do all the things that we're doing, and just minus the coaching. Right, I think I've said it all now. I think. Oh, that's nice. I didn't have that one. Let me bring that one up. What was that? Oh, yes, somebody said, wow, Marilyn, this was so amazing. Beautiful. I'm so grateful to be here. Wow, thank you so much. So again, that was somebody who attended the workshop last weekend. So that's what we have going on. I personally, of course, I am biased because I created the program. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I do love the idea of the ongoing accountability, the support, the sounding board. And also there are people in the group who have levels of expertise in areas that I don't know that much about. And so we're going to be tapping into that the expertise. And really the thing that one of the major things I want, and people always say that, whether people are coming in to speak to my group. So Kate, for example, will say, Marilyn, your clients are so lovely, they're so amazing, and people always say that when they come and speak on my webinars. Deanna, the founder of Block Therapy, said exactly the same. She says, wow, your group are fantastic. And we are, in terms of the health and physical piece, I'm going to share some information with you about that. So the group is always amazing, and I'm thinking, why don't we all tap into that, support each other, learn from each other, grow together, collaborate, because I think that is where it's at in terms of the world at the moment. So if you want to be part of that, get yourself booked on now. If you're watching this in real time, we're going to be starting next month, and yeah. I think that's it. There's nothing more to say. I actually think it's a no-brainer price. And even if you don't drink coffee, Starbucks, all that sort of stuff, there's probably somewhere you can find £8 or £9 to come and join us. That's only if you want to grow, develop, empower yourself, your life, your mindset, your skill set in any way, shape or form. Not everyone wants to do that, and that's absolutely cool as well. But if you are in the place and the space where you want to grow spiritually, emotionally, mentally, in terms of your professional life, your work, career development, then I would definitely say this is the place to be. I know it is going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, and one of the things that people often notice when they sign up for something, things immediately start to happen. I remember one of the programs I ran, I had 3 separate people email me. One of them, the stuff started happening where she's like, right, I'm doing it. She made the mental decision. And then the other 2 were like, whoa, as soon as I signed up, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. Do you actually start doing stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure. Once we're in that vortex, we're in the vortex, even if we haven't held the first event yet. So if you want to have some of those wonderful energetic shifts and changes, get into the old quantum entanglement stuff. I've done a lot on that in the past year or so. Then sign up and join us. If you've got any questions or queries and they're not answered on the Q&A form on the page, let me know. I'll answer it for you, of course, but I'll also add it to the Q&A on the booking page as well. That's it. I really look forward to working with you. I'm so excited about how we can all work together and collaborate, because I'm part of the group as well. Yes, I'm facilitating it, but I'm also going to be kind of taking part, joining in, all the rest of it. So really excited about it. I look forward to working with you. And if you know someone who could benefit, this might not be for you, but if you do know someone who could benefit, please feel free to share this with them. You can send it to them directly. If you've got friends who don't mind being tagged in, by all means tag them in, but feel free to pick up the link, send it to them, let people know about it. That would be absolutely fantastic and very much appreciated, because me and the algorithms are having a very interesting time. We have been for the last 5 years now. So if you're able to kind of share, or at least, as I say, click like, give it a comment, etc., that helps send it further and wider. And of course, if you're sharing it, you're going to be connected to people that I'm not directly connected to, but they could be a good fit for it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Really thank you for sharing, and a massive thank you to everyone who has already signed up to join us, and those of you who will be signing up. So get to it, sign up soon. I will say the URL one more time. It's www.bit.ly/limitless-abundance-academy. Or you can go to my main website, transformationstm.com, click that red What's New button, and the panel will slide out and you can join us from there. Right. Wishing you a fabulous rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'm super excited to see what we all do exponentially from here. Catch you later.